Heading over to you, Elias, with this next question from Marcus, who says, my 401k plan doesn't offer a match. Should I keep contributing to it or save money elsewhere? This is interesting. I had, for 2 solid years, my employer did not contribute.
For 2 years?
For 2 years. And I kept contributing. You know what happened? I've doubled my 401k in that same 2-year period, because I started, it was like, fine, if they're not going to do it, I'm going to put in what they were supposed to put in.
So you're happy?
Was that
dude, I'm so happy.
What did they stop the match?
No, they just stopped.
During COVID or after?
It was both.
A lot of companies did around.
It was during COVID, but then it was afterwards too.
And now is the match back?
The match is back. And I kept my money up there. So.
And you kept your contributions the same?
Yep, my elevated level.
Gold star for Doug. Doug gets a gold star for all of those decisions.
Is he your customer, Jonas?
He is my customer.
So gold star for you.
Why did you decide to do that, Doug? You could have taken this negative situation and turned it very negative and just stopped your contributions. What made you decide to go ahead and plug away?
Jonas held him down and said, you're going to keep saving your money.
Well, besides that, I'm a strong man.
Literally, it was one of these things where it's like, you know what? Nobody's going to do it for me. That's what it came down to. Nobody's going to do this for you. You've got to do it and make sure that it gets done. And really, it came down for me is like, I've got to get to the point where I had that same amount of money that I had before, because I liked the way that it was growing. So, yay. Thanks, guys.
The match, it's a feature of the 401k plan. The real benefit to 401k is the payroll deduction. Here's what that does for an investor. It builds great investor behavior, which is why you get your gold star.
Thank you.
For great investor behavior. All you're really doing is you're making regular and consistent savings habits and investments. There's another word for it, dollar cost averaging. And if all of that is set up automatic, you're also stopping yourself from trying to time the market. The money goes in, it gets invested. So the match is a feature that helps support the other savings habits. There's a few other things to consider before you think about going elsewhere with the money. There's higher contribution limits in the company-sponsored plans. So if you're thinking, well, they're not going to give me a match, so I'm going to go start an IRA account, your plan at work is going to have a higher contribution limit. 401ks are $23,500. And then you get the catch-up contribution when you're 50 or older, which is 70. That extra catch-up is another $7,500 that you can contribute. So with the higher contribution limits in the 401k, it's still a good option for investors. IRAs, individual retirement accounts, have much lower contribution limits than that of the 401k. $7,000 if you're under 50, $8,000 if you are 50 or older. Different account types can provide some diversification. The main point I want to make with my answer on this is not investing in the company plan that's being offered to you just because there's not a match. That's not a good reason to not save your money and build your wealth. What'd you say earlier? No one was going to do it for me.
Yeah, nobody's going to do it for me. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And that's really, retirement in America has shifted from pensions to no one's going to do it for you. You have to save your own money and build up these accounts. So the short answer, yes, you should take advantage of your company sponsored plan, regardless of whether it has a match or not.
Right.
The match is a feature. It's not the main benefit. The main benefit is the successful investor behavior you're going to participate in over time by paying yourself first, being regular and consistent with your contributions.
It's easier to do it payroll deduct. I mean, that psychologically for people, it's way easier.
Right.
They don't even know that money was there.
You know why, though?
If you put it into the bank account, think. You get $300 that goes into a 401k. You never saw it in your paycheck. where you get $300 that's deposited into your bank account, and then it goes to your whatever, Roth IRA traditional. People don't view the 300 as an investment. They perceive it as an expense, which an expense has a negative connotation. They put it into their budget, so that's a budget expense. They don't see it as, oh, this is an investment. And I believe that's one of the reasons the 401k has been so successful. There's no negative connotation associated with the expense of it.
Yeah. And the more moving parts you have, something more that can break down. So something may break down because if you have to push that button from your bank account to the investment account, that you can break it. You know, either you forget where the button is or you just don't want to press the button or however you work it.
I have the greatest example of this. I really do. So I have a individual that I met. He has dollar cost averaged into an asset class that was very speculative in nature over the last 15 years. He's a very, 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 very wealthy person because of this. Every paycheck, he put $200 into this asset class. That's it. If he wouldn't have put the $200 automatically from his paycheck into this account where he bought this asset class, there's no way he would have stuck with it.
Yeah.
Because it's so volatile. Eventually he'd have been like, I'm going to wait for a better time. It's at all-time highs. I think I want to cash in. He literally has just stuck with it for, it's not quite 15 years. I think it's about 13 years he's been doing it. And I asked him, I said, how did you do this? He said, well, I just take $200 out of my paycheck. And coincidentally enough, he's been super successful in his company's 401k as well because of that same strategy.
So it's not like that's his only investment. He's got other investments as well. That's part of his financial plan.
Yeah, he made sure of that was his, what I would call risk on or his discretionary money that if it was worth zero, he didn't care. He took care of his 401k and other retirement obligations. In fact, he probably has more money in his 401k than most of the people that we work with. Yeah. Mostly because he's been really, really disciplined to do it from the time he was 22 years old, and he doesn't have a high-paying job. It's a good job, but he's not some big executive. He's just maxing it out for a very long time.
Marcus, thank you very much for that question. If you are like Marcus, you have a question about something like this, get in touch with them at premieriwm.com, and they'll answer it in a future show. Just hit the contact us and answer this. Typically type in there your question. They'll answer it on one of the future shows. Again, premieriwm.com. You can also call and get a question inserted as well. 800-383-6590.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Premier Investments in Wealth Management and LPL Financial do not provide specific individualized tax or legal advice. We suggest that you discuss your specific situation with a qualified tax or legal advisor. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. All performance referenced is historical and is not a guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly. There is no assurance that the techniques and strategies discussed are suitable for all investors or will yield positive outcomes. The purchase of certain securities may be required to affect some of the strategies. Investing involves risks, including possible loss of principal. There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. Forbes' Best in State Wealth Management Team's ranking was developed by Shook Research and is based on in-person, virtual, and telephone due diligence meetings and a ranking algorithm that includes a measure of each team's best practices, client retention, industry experience, review of compliance records, firm nominations, and quantitative criteria, including assets under management and revenue generated for their firm. Investment performance is not a criterion because client objectives and risk tolerances vary, and advisors rarely have audited performance reports. Shook's research and rankings provide opinions intended to help investors choose the right financial advisor and team, and are not indicative of future performance or representative of any one client's experience. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Neither Forbes nor Shook Research receive compensation in exchange for placement on the ranking. For more information, please see www.shookresearch.com. Shook is a registered trademark of Shook Research, LLC.